Hi guys, today's video is going to be my Dwarf Hamster Essentials video. So this is just to show you what I feel a Dwarf Hamster owner would need. So I'm just going to go through them in order of which I think is most important. So I'm going to start off with what I believe to be the most important thing. So that would have to be, for me, a suitable sized cage. So if you live in the US and Canada, your cage will need to be 360 square inches or above, and in the UK your cage will need to be 70 by 40 centimetres or above for a single dwarf, and for a pair of dwarfs it'll need to be 80 by 50 centimetres or above. So the next thing you're going to need is a bedding or substrate. So I would recommend a few. The first one I would recommend, which would have to be my top sort of bedding, would have to be the bedding you're looking at the minute. It's called Fitch and it's very similar to Carefresh, though you buy it in bales and it can be a lot cheaper. So the sizes that you can get for like small animals are 10 kilogram bales and 20 kilogram bales. I believe a 10 kilogram bale is around £15 and then the 20 kilogram bale is around £20, I believe. So they're really good value, a lot cheaper than Carefresh, and I feel that they're a lot softer than Carefresh as well. So I would definitely recommend Fitch, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. I would also recommend Carefresh, not as much as Fitch. It's only really if you can't get a hold of some Fitch, or if you can't store that much Fitch and you can only small bags of bedding. And I would also recommend Megazorb if you are not a fan of Fitch. So I've never tried Megazorb, though I've seen a lot of really good reviews on it. I'll try and link some in the description, though I don't really know where you get it from. I believe you can get it from like local farm shops or horse shops, because it's supposed to be a horse bedding, I believe. But again, like the Fitch, you can get it in smaller bales for small animals. And Megazorb is just like a... I'm not too sure how to describe it. I'll try and put a picture on screen to sort of show you, but yeah. Just please stay away from pine and cedar, as they can be quite dangerous for hamsters. They can cause respiratory issues, and there are also quite a few harmful oils. So you're going to need a water source, so you can use a ceramic bowl or a plastic bottle or a glass bottle. I have to say that I prefer plastic bottles, as they're just really cheap, they're easy to clean, and they're just quite lightweight and just really simple to use, and it also stops the hamster from kicking bedding in it, which would happen if you have your water in a bowl. So I have a 150 milliliter one here, but a 75ml one would be fine, but you do need to refill it every day or every couple of days, as the water can get a little bit dirty. So this one here is brand new, and it comes with the piece of wire which you can use to attach it to barred cage. I actually use ribbon and suction cups to attach it to my plastic style cage, but I personally love the classic water bottles, which is the one I have here, and I wouldn't use anything else. So you will also need a food. So the food I recommend is the Burgess Dwarf Hamster Harvest, and I'll leave a link to my diet video for my dwarf hamster in the description, as I do like to add different things into his diet, and I don't just feed him on this mix alone. I do add in other mixes and pellets and things just to give him a good variety. But as a base mix, I would definitely recommend this food, and I do really like it. So you're also going to need a food bowl if you choose not to scatter feed. So if you didn't know already, scatter feeding is when you take your hamster's food and sprinkle it about their cage so they can do what they naturally do in the wild and go about and forage for it. So I have to say I do use a food bowl, but sometimes I do scatter feed just to give the hamster something to do. So you can get lots of different food bowls in all sorts of colours, shapes and sizes. So I have two plastic ones here which are from Pets at Home, and I use these for veggies or sort of cooked food. And then here I've got a ceramic one which I use for the everyday mix. This is just a little white bowl which has a hamster and it says hamster on. So I like using bowls, but like I said, I do scatter feed every now and then, as it does give your hamster something fun to do, and it's what they'd naturally do in the wild. So something I feel is very important is a correct size wheel, as these just help your hamster burn off excess energy and it gives them something to do so they're not bored. So as long as the hamster's back does not arch or bend when they're running on it, then it is an okay size, but if it does arch or bend, then the wheel is too small and you're going to need a bigger one. So I have two here. The purpley pinky one is a Super Pet Comfort wheel, and this is 8-inch, and the one next to it, which is a clear Pets at Home wheel, is 6.5-inch. So most dwarfs will need a 6.5-inch wheel, but some can grow bigger and will need an 8-inch wheel. So you're also going to need a safe nesting material, so please stay away from any kind of cotton wool style bedding, as these can be so dangerous. And if you just type in dangers of fluffy hamster bedding into Google, it'll come up with loads of stories of hamsters people who have used it for the hamsters, and the hamsters have actually died from using it. So I stick with plain shredded toilet paper. So this might seem quite weird, but I just take a couple pieces of toilet paper and then I just pull it apart like this, and it makes really good nesting material for hamsters, and I would definitely recommend it. So as long as the toilet paper is plain, it's not got any colouring on it, and it's not scented or anything, then it's perfectly fine for hamsters, and I would definitely recommend it. You will also need a house for your hamster to sleep and hide in, so this is just a plastic one from Pets at Home, but you could use any kind of hamster house as long as they can fit inside comfortably. You can use ceramic ones, plastic ones, all sorts of houses, and I would definitely recommend that you have a house for your hamster. So you'll also need toys for your hamster, so you can have toys such as tunnels, bendy bridges, and sort of wooden climbing toys. So toys are really, I feel, essential, as they can stop your hamster becoming bored, and it's just something for them to do, a little bit of enrichment for them, because if you just had a hamster in a cage with just the food, water, a wheel and a bed, it could get quite bored and start developing habits which you're not going to want. So I would definitely recommend toys, as they give your hamster something to do, it's something fun for them, and they also make a cage look really nice. Climbing on wooden toys can also help wear down your hamster's nails. So another essential would have to be chews, as they are so useful for wearing down your hamster's teeth. They can also stop your hamster becoming bored. It gives your hamster something to do, something to chew on, and they stop your hamster's teeth becoming overgrown. As if your hamster's teeth become overgrown, they can develop problems in their mouth, and it can also prevent them from eating, and it's just really uncomfortable. So I would definitely recommend chews to keep their teeth down, and these are all wood chews here, apart from these ones which are sisal, but they're all perfectly safe to chew, and I would definitely recommend these. So these are just a few that I had lying around, but there are so many more, and they come in all sorts of colours, shapes, sizes. They can come on chains sometimes, or hanging kebabs, but chews are definitely a must, and you can't have a hamster without them. So something that's not required but I feel is still very important would be a sand bath. So I just use this ceramic dish, and I have chinchilla sand in it, but not chinchilla dust though, as chinchilla dust can cause respiratory issues. I would only ever use chinchilla sand. Please stay away from anything that says dust or is dust, I guess, but I just use some chinchilla sand, and it's just like fine sort of sand, and it works really well. Hamish uses his as a toilet area, which makes cleaning a lot easier, and it keeps his cage a lot tidier for longer. So I would definitely recommend a sand bath and some bathing sand. I'll leave a link to the chinchilla sand I use down below. So another essential would have to be a carrier. So these are really useful to put your hamster in when you're cleaning out their cage, and they're also really useful if you ever need to take your hamster to the vets in an emergency. So I definitely recommend you get a carrier. The one I have here is quite a large one, so would be suitable for a Syrian and a dwarf, but it's also suitable for Hamish, so I use it for him, and I would definitely recommend a carrier. So you'll also need some supplies to clean out your hamster. So these aren't essential, these items I have in front of you, but it just sort of gives you an idea of what kind of things you're going to need to clean out your hamster. So I use a dustpan and brush, kitchen towel, bin bags, and a pet safe disinfectant. This is the Supreme Original Keep It Clean in Lemon. So these just make cleaning out my hamster a lot easier. It just helps a lot, and I would recommend that you have these or something similar. Something else which is optional would have to be a flying saucer. So I have one for Hamish and he loves it. This is the 6.5 inch one, which is the Dwarf Hamster size, and it's like a wheel, but it's flat like that. But if you have one of these, you will need to provide your hamster with a wheel, as well as wheels are essential and you need them. Even if you do have a flying saucer like I do, I still provide my hamster with a wheel. So something that is optional but you can also have would be treats. You've just got to make sure that if your hamster is prone to diabetes, then they are low in sugar. So all these here are suitable for diabetes hamsters, well, diabetes prone hamsters. My hamster Hamish is diabetes prone, and these are the treats I feed him. So I have some of the Pets at Home sort of biscuity treats. I've got some dog treats. I've got nuts. I've got some sugar-free drops. I've got sunflower seeds, which are his favourite, which is why there's not a lot left. We've got millet, which is another big favourite. We've got some just general pet shop treats, and then we have some linseed here. So hand feeding them can help with bonding and taming and just the general process of getting your hamster sort of used to you. So that's it for my Dwarf Hamster Essentials video. I hope you enjoyed seeing everything you need for a dwarf hamster and the different things I would recommend. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more videos from our channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, bye!